Welcome. My name is Neil Vernon. I'm a member of the Sons of the American Revolution, and this presentation today is about the history of the American flag. But before we get started, I'd like to present to you a little bit of local history since we're here in the state of Washington. The state of Washington flag is the only flag in the United States that has a portrait of a former president. It happens to be George Washington. Now, what's unique about this flag is that it was first designed by the Daughters of the American Revolution. And you'll note that on the seal of the flag that the state of Washington became the state in 1889. This flag did not become the official flag of Washington State until 1923. Before Washington State was a state, it was a territory. It became a territory on February 14th, 1859, when Oregon became the 33rd state, represented by the 33 stars underneath their seal. Oregon became a state and is the only state that has two distinct sides to their flag. Go Beavers! The other thing that's important about this flag is that Oregon became a state in 1859, did not receive the official flag of the state until 1925, 2 years after Washington State received their flag. Now, even at that time, before Oregon became a state, it was known as the Oregon Territory. The Oregon Territory was where the pioneers were heading when they were coming out west. The Oregon Territory represents all of Oregon, Washington, and even parts of Idaho. Now, before even Oregon Territory, we had British fur trapping companies from Astoria all the way up to Vancouver, BC. But our story happens to be on the east coast of the United States, where our ancestors first landed as pilgrims and colonized America. So what does it mean to be a British subject during those times? The flag that we lived under was under the British flag. And therefore, what makes up the British flag? Well, here comes the story. It originates with the St. George's Cross. The St. George's Cross flag was discovered by the Crusaders as they were coming back through Genoa, and they saw this banner and took it back to England and eventually became adopted as the flag of England. In 1601, King Henry's nephew, after the death of Queen Elizabeth, James I became the King of England and Scotland. This is the Scottish flag, also known as the St. Andrew's Cross. So during the times of the colonial times in British America, we had what is known as the King's Colors. Can you see the two representations of the King's St. George's Cross and the St. Andrew's Cross in this? Absolutely. During the American Revolution, there were three primary military squadrons. Those squadrons consisted of the Blue Squadron, typically known as the Naval Squadron. This is the blue ensign. This would be flying on naval ships, and also it happens to be the flag of General Gates and General Howe. There's also another squadron known as the Home Guard. Here you still see the St. George's Cross. This flag was also seen during the time of the American Revolution in our ports, but it also was part of the battle that John Paul Jones had with the Serapis when he sailed close to England. It's also known as the Home Guard, protecting the home ground. Lastly, the third squadron is the Red Squadron or the Army Squadron. This would be General Cornwallis's flag, known as the Red Ensign. This flag literally is the foundation of the American flag. let me show you. As we come through this, you will note that in 1803, Ireland became part of the United Kingdom. This is known as the St. Patrick's flag, and therefore, all British subjects today, this is the United Kingdom flag. Now, if you go to a soccer match or watch the World Cup and Scotland and England are on the playing field, they will be flying their own distinct flags. The St. Andrew's flag and the St. George's flag. Thank you.